I need the scoop.
A mother's kindness turns into a year-long nightmare when family freeloaders refuse to leave her home. This Reddit confession sparked thousands of comments as viewers watched one woman's health deteriorate under the stress of unwanted house guests and a husband who chose his family over his wife. Get ready for a story about boundaries, betrayal, and the shocking lengths it takes to reclaim your own life.
This is my first post, so bear with me. About a year ago, my 30-year-old husband and I'm 28, allowed my brother-in-law, who's 19, to move in with us to get him out of a rough situation and help him start adulting. This was about May of last year. I agreed to have him move in with the promise from both my brother-in-law and my husband that it was only going to be a couple of months until my brother-in-law found a roommate to move out with. He was also supposed to pay some rent monthly since he has a full-time job now, keep his area clean, and help out around the house. Keep in mind I have 2 children under the age of 5 and also work, and I'm still the housekeeper, cleaning, cooking food, everything, while my husband also works about 60 hours a week. Fast forward those couple of months, and no luck on finding a roommate. My brother-in-law is still living with us. Okay, he's young. I'm just going to give him some more time to figure this out. I'm trying to be understanding and gracious, as I also had some help getting on my feet at this age. I confronted my brother-in-law a few times asking, "So, how is the roommate search going? And, you found an apartment yet?" Only to be answered with shrugs and, "I don't know." I will say, at this point I'm starting to feel in the dark with what is actually going on. As in, is there even a plan of him moving out? Is he even looking for a roommate or an apartment? My husband says just give him more time and that he's working on it. Frustrated. It's Christmas time now, and my brother-in-law is requesting to have his girlfriend of 2 years, who lives out of state, move in too with the promise that she has a job, and they will move out in 1 month. I tell my husband that I'm not comfortable with it, as my brother-in-law was not supposed to be here at this time in the first place. My husband says I'm overreacting and starts making comments that make me sound like I don't care about his family. Angry, I just shut down and keep my mouth shut to avoid the argument. My next mistake. The girlfriend moves in and, surprise, surprise, doesn't have a job and claims she's been looking for one for 3 months now since living under my roof. Fast forward to now. Rent is not being paid anymore. The cleaning of their own areas has stopped, and there has been absolutely no trying to find a way to move out of my home. I've quit asking my brother-in-law questions to keep myself from being furious and directed the questions towards my husband. At this point, I'm done trusting that my husband has any plan or control in this whole situation, which is driving me insane. Anytime I bring it up to my husband, I'm met with hostility and accusations of just wanting to throw his family out on the street and that I shouldn't be upset with this because I agreed to it. Agreed to what? Yes, I agreed to my brother-in-law moving in for a couple of months. Yes, I graciously gave him extra time to figure things out. At this point, I no longer feel comfortable in my own home, and every day my husband and I argue about it, which always turns into very ugly outcomes. We don't even sleep in the same bed anymore. I'm annoyed that I've been conned into taking on 2 grown adults while trying to raise my own family. I'm angry that I'm being made out to be the bad guy when all I wanted was to be helpful. I don't know what to do anymore. I guess my main question to the Reddit world is, am I in the wrong because I let this all happen in the first place? I realize now that I do feel it is my fault for allowing it to go this far without any real action on my part. I guess this is a learning opportunity for me to not internalize my feelings until it's too late.
The Reddit community rallied behind the poster with overwhelming support, many sharing their own stories of family exploitation. Armed with this validation, she prepared for what would be the most difficult conversation of her marriage. The next day, she delivered an ultimatum that would test whether her husband valued his wife's well-being over his brother's comfort.
Taking everything into consideration, I gave my husband an ultimatum last night and I'm sticking to it. They need to be gone by June 1st, with all rent paid according to how I had laid it out, or else I'm moving out with the kids into an apartment. I'm also not cooking for them, just enough for me and the kids. All laundry detergents and toiletries will be kept in my closet, and internet passwords will be changed. Now, Before I get told that 2 months is too much time for them, hear me out. This is also time for me to get my ducks in a row should I actually be moving out, which in theory, I'll know by mid-May if they aren't moving out. If they don't have anything lined up by then. I really do doubt my husband is wanting this to actually happen, me and the kids moving out, but I wouldn't put it past him thinking that I'm bluffing. All in all, I would hope it doesn't have to come to that point. I am happy to learn, though, after sketching a quick budget, that I would be able to support me and both of my children with my own income if worst came to worst. When I told him about the ultimatum, he was surprisingly not as hostile as he usually has been. I say not as, because there was no yelling or swearing. He pretty much said I was overreacting and crazy to think that would even need to happen in the first place since they'll be out by then. If you could see my eye roll right now, I'm shaking my head. I should mention that I'm not looking for divorce at this exact moment. I'm willing to give him the opportunity to at least try to salvage the mess he created. Unfortunately, it might just take me stepping out to realize where he messed up. On the other hand, if it does turn into divorce, at least I'll already have me and my kids established in a new place. I've even thought about how to go about selling the house if I leave.
Readers praised the poster's newfound backbone, though many worried 2 months was too generous given the family's track record. As the June deadline approached, the household dynamics began shifting in unexpected ways. But when the poster received a devastating medical diagnosis, everything she thought she knew about her situation would be called into question.
So, here we are, getting really close to June 1st, and yes, they are still living in my house. Here's where things are getting grey for me, and I need all the advice possible. I recently got diagnosed with stage 2 hypertension, and I'm working on getting that under control. I have chronic anxiety and experience rolling panic attacks that last for up to a week, sometimes twice a year. Since my last post, I had a 4-day episode, as well as the diagnosis. My doctor says I'm far too young to have a diastolic pressure chilling at 97, and will be dead in 15 years if I don't make changes now. Since then, I have been stepping back and focusing on me, getting healthy, losing weight, and so on. With that said, my husband has been a lot nicer to me and helping out around the house so I can focus on myself and my kids. The constant shouting has basically stopped, the gaslighting is non-existent, and for once I actually feel confident about my future. Since the diagnosis, the energy in my house has completely changed, and what I feel may be for the better. My brother-in-law's girlfriend has gotten a full-time job at the end of last month, and, to my surprise, has been sticking to it. Also, rent has been paid since me laying down the law back in March. They have picked up the cleaning routine, buy their own groceries, and actually seem to be doing well for themselves. Shoot, the girlfriend has even been helping me out with the kids if I seem too stressed. They are actively looking at apartments and attempting to move out. But it's looking like they are wanting to push out the June 1st deadline. Would I be showing myself as a doormat if I let them have a couple more weeks? Or is it my obligation to follow through with the deadline I gave in the beginning? I have a feeling my husband did have a lot to do with them getting their act together, which I'm grateful for. Kind of sucks that I have to risk a stroke in order to get through to him, though. That's another topic for a different day, I think. Unfortunately, things took a turn for the worse. Last night didn't go well at all. Looks like I may be a single mom now. Looking back, I definitely see where I was putting myself last to save the peace, but for what? My kids need me alive and happy. If anyone is going to be put first over myself, it's going to be my kids. Period. Point blank. My parents are close in proximity to me, and they know everything that's going on and are ready for me and my kids to move in at a moment's notice if needed. I'll be working on eviction notices because the house is in my name. I know that I said in previous posts that I was going to move out, but I decided it's not my place to leave this house. It's theirs to leave.
The community warned that the sudden behavioural changes were likely temporary, urging the poster to stick to her deadline regardless of recent improvements. Despite everyone's best efforts, the underlying tensions remained unresolved. When the poster attempted one final conversation about the approaching deadline, the facade of family harmony would shatter completely.
I put my kids down for the night last night, and I brought the deadline up to my husband again. I calmly asked, "Hey, June 1st is coming up. Any progress?" "No." "Are you going to talk to them about it?" "No." Then he flipped, really bad, started yelling at me at the top of his lungs. I told him we had an agreement, and then he basically told me to hell with the agreement. I lost it, guys. I told him it's obvious he doesn't care about me or my feelings, and that he's welcome to leave with them too. He says, "Okay, tell me when you want me out." I told him June 1st was already the date. He shut down, stopped talking. He stormed out the door, said he wasn't going to fight about it tonight. I tried calling and messaging him. No response. He turned off his location. He came back late last night, doesn't say a word. Wakes up this morning and then tries to small talk with me. Like nothing happened. I ignored it all. Not because I'm trying to be petty, but because I genuinely don't know how to process this. My oldest wakes up today and asks, "Why is Daddy not staying at our house anymore?" So, knowing that my 4-year-old heard all of this commotion is devastating me.
Commenters express both devastation and pride as the poster chose her children's well-being over keeping the peace. With divorce papers filed and her health on the line, she faced the possibility of rebuilding her entire life. 2 months later, an unexpected resolution would prove that sometimes the most drastic actions yield the most profound changes.
They are out. They moved out about a month ago. Life as I know it is getting back to normal again. My husband got the message with the divorce papers, and we have since been having way more open communication. I have decided to hold off proceeding with divorce at the moment to see if there is anything worth saving in this relationship. I have since had some more health issues come up that I am going through a couple of procedures for next week, and that has been my main focus for the last couple of weeks, hence the no reply for a while. I appreciate all the support and advice from everyone. I am taking every day still here on this earth as a blessing, especially now that I have peace in my home and can sit back and breathe. I have also had the conversation with my husband about if he actually cares enough about me to stay with me through my procedures and possible diagnosis, because I do not want to live what could be my possible last days with someone who isn't there physically, emotionally, and mentally. He has taken off work next week to take care of me throughout it all, and I'm just going to go from there.
Sometimes it takes a health crisis to show us what truly matters, and this poster's journey reminds us that setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's survival. The original poster continues to focus on her health and marriage recovery, so subscribe to catch any future updates on her healing journey. Share your thoughts on family boundaries and self-advocacy in the comments, and explore our other videos for more stories about finding strength in difficult situations.